No, I'm only kidding. My name's Matt Abel and I'm 52 years old. I live in the Northern Territory in Darwin. I'm lucky enough to drive the Nitro Thunder funny car. Nitro funny cars is pretty awesome thing to drive. It's a fun thing to drive. It's a little bit different to the car I consistently drive, but yeah, it's a fun thing to drive. It's pretty damn fast, and it certainly hauls ass when you put it into second gear. Yeah, it can be violent, but yeah, generally it's just a fun thing to drive. It's nice and smooth generally, but sometimes it gets a bit out of control. So I suppose I was a young fella and had fast street cars, and I lived 300 kilometres south of Darwin. I used to travel up to Darwin to watch the drags, and I ended up moving up there in my early or late teens, early 20s I guess, and took the street car down there, which was basically my work ute with a Hottie 351. It was a Falcon ute anyway. These things you'd think were fast back in the day, you know, I was running 15.5. So I think, you know, progression from there, we got that into sort of a super street class, and really needed it for work, so I probably had to slow it down a little, get it back more reliable. And I bought a little Ford Capri from Lenny Leonard in South Australia, OG Speed Shop. It was for sale. It was running in the Wild Bunch at the time with a small block Chev. I've been piecing together a supercharged Cleveland, which lasted about maybe 10 passes before I pushed the crank out the bottom of it. From there I purchased a Fontana, small block Ford Fontana. I went to America and bought it direct off Joe Fontana. I had Ken Lowe do a fuel system for me back in the day, and that thing went pretty good. We probably went, in the end, I think that car I went 730s in that car in Supercharged Outlaws. And I built a new Capri myself, first car I ever built from scratch, a full chassis car. Put that motor out of the old Capri, and that ran I think 690s. I then grew a brain and bought a Hemi, and yeah, I put a little small cube Hemi in that Capri and I think we went 630 or something in that car, and it was like, yeah, that's probably too fast for this thing. I got offered to drive a car for Victor Bray, Team Bray, and I drove a car for him for a couple of years, which probably put me where I am with us in Top Door Slammy. You know, I bought a new car and I've been racing that current car since 2010. I've obviously updated it a number of times, but you know, the same engine effectively. Yeah, and now, yeah, step into this funny car. You know, Rory's been doing my machine work for probably at least 10 years now. I run Bill Miller rods in my engines, have done since I ran my first engine, which is that was just like freaky really, because I went to America and bought this engine, and the conrods were Bill Miller's just because that's what Joe Fontana run. And then obviously because I was running those conrods, I got to know Rory through, you know, having to buy new conrods. So he supplied me conrods for, geez, got to be 12, 13, 14 years. So yeah, that's how. And then he just decided one day to ask me if I was interested in driving a Nitro funny car, and it was like, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'll give it a go. And yeah, it was pretty daunting at the beginning. You know, I always wanted to drive one. I remember watching the Diamond P videos, you know, the VHS videos from 30 years ago, you know, and watching John Force and all them guys on fire and figuring, geez, this is right where I am now. We're running this nostalgia stuff, the old school, but yeah, they're far more reliable than they used to be. Although I've been on fire a couple of times, and they reckon you haven't driven a Nitro funny car until you've been on fire in a Nitro funny car. So I guess I'm a real Nitro funny car driver. No, it's a great deal. Fantastic. It's got a bit of footage that a bit of airplay that run. So I didn't actually know what happened to the car in the other lane, and to be honest, the car was on a good run, and then the motor let go. I didn't realise the body had blown off the car until I'd stopped. I probably should have, but there was just fire pouring all over me off the back of the fuel line that had come off the back of the inject hat. So yeah, realistically it was just like I'm on fire, and yeah, we got the car to a stop. But yeah, didn't really notice anything. There was no massive like body hit or anything like that. It just motor let go and tried to pull up. That's about all I can say about that. I like the funny car thing. I haven't driven an open car. I haven't driven anything open like that at all. Not to say that I wouldn't probably give it a go. The rear engine dragster, sorry, the front engine dragster, just where that diff is, that sort of like puts me off a bit. I've sat in one and it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. The altered, yeah, I'd probably give that a go. They are a completely different animal, and I have been on the odd occasion gone to put the Nitro funny car on a two-step. Haven't done that for a little while, and we now have a headset, you know, and Rory yells at me before I go into stage to make sure I don't do that anymore. But yeah, no, they're completely different, to be honest. I mean, you know, there's probably not that much difference on the launch, but geez, when you shift that Nitro funny car into second gear, oh my God, does that thing hauls the freight big time. Head of flames. You don't really see the head of flames, like when you're in the car. The fumes, yeah, they sting your eyes a bit. I don't know, it's a cool thing. Nitro's just a different thing. Yeah, even sitting in the car when it's on the jack stands, warming it up, the vibrations through the car is just something special. Yeah, so we had a bit of an issue with the clutch. It wasn't set properly, and it drove off to do the burnout. So it did the burnout, but basically when I finished the burnout, you know, with the foot off the clutch, the car wasn't really moving. It started to move. Got back from the burnout, my foot on the clutch. It just keeps wearing the clutch. So it's just taken a little bit more off. It crept forward once the car was ready to go into stage, and basically it stopped short of the stage beams and wouldn't move forward. I knew what was wrong, and I also know from trying to do a burnout without the throttle stop in that a Nitro engine revs so much faster than an alcohol engine. You can't control the RPM with your foot, it's impossible. I did notice that one of the crew early when I first started driving this car, the throttle stop wasn't in, and we didn't have a headset in the car, and one of the reasons why we did that, get the headset, was so that I could have told Rory at the time, apart from the two-step thing so he can yell at me. But yeah, that, you know, that if there's anything going on, I noticed it wasn't there, so I did do the burnout and I didn't zing the motor hard, but it's very, very difficult to control the RPM. So I had my foot out of the bucket, I was kicking the throttle pedal with my toe, and by some freak of nature, hard on the brake, I kicked it enough that it launched itself into the pre-stage. I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. So then I'm on the brake really hard and I'm just kicking the throttle with my foot to get it into full stage, and it launched forward and stopped in full stage. Then I got whole shot real bad because my foot wasn't in the throttle pedal, and that was my ass getting kicked by the boss again because I was so shit on the light, but you know, that's the way it goes. Yeah, it was something different. I mean, I don't know how many people have bumped themselves into full stage in a Nitro funny car, but yeah, them the things you get. Yeah, I mean, I've had a good look at the car since I've been down this trip, and there's a lot of little things that have been changed. I'd say everything for the better. Wheel stand in the car's not really an issue as long as it's going straight. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting it out there and having a go. So this all comes down to the fella that tunes the car, realistically, and he really knows his craft. It's Rory Taylor from Speed Talk. We're actually sitting in his factory with all these engines sitting here. He's very busy and obviously knows what he's doing. He's a very good tuner. I would say, strongly suggest that we will consistently run those sorts of numbers, maybe even faster. Hey, look, everyone out there's got a chance. It's just, that's the luck of the draw. The track can be a leveler, but on track conditions are good, weather's good. I expect our car's going to be the one to be, everyone's going to be chasing. The young fella that tunes that car, he's no deal. He's a very smart young fella. So yeah, I'd expect them to be fast. I don't think they'll be as fast as us.
Here's your bourbon. Go.
Thanks, mate. Luckily, I'm just a teetotaler.